led by Sean Green, Carlos Delgado, and Tony Fernández. The Blue Jays face a tough task as Kevin Millwood makes his first start since the All-Star game. Braves Blue Jays next on TBS. Hello again, everybody, along with Joe Simpson, Skip Carey, welcoming you to another day of Atlanta Braves baseball. This time from Sky Dome in Toronto, where the Braves and Blue Jays meet in the first of a three-game series. And it could be a very important day for the Braves as Javi Lopez tests it out behind the plate today. We'll find out if he can catch. And all the rigors of Major League catching, whether he's going to be able to pull that off, will be decided today. Meanwhile, Joe, tell us about this Toronto team. They're red hot.
They're a team that not too many people know a whole lot about, Skip, but they are a team that can score some runs and score in a hurry. They've got three guys in their lineup that are absolutely tearing it up. Tony Fernández at the top of the league, just behind Derek Jeter in average. He's stealing a lot of bases. Carlos Delgado and Sean Green both contributing mightily to the offense for the Toronto Blue Jays. They're sixth in the league in hitting. They're at or near the top in home runs. And they're topped in stolen bases. They will put some pressure on Javi Lopez today, and if he's not able to come up out of that crouch, the Braves will be in some trouble. Now then, from the pitching standpoint, the Blue Jays are struggling, and they've got to have some better starting pitching. David Wells has been carrying his share of the load. They've got to have Joey Hamilton get back on track. He'll pitch today for them.
He has really struggled, and the guy going for the Braves, Kevin Millwood, has pitched well enough to be an all-star. Back with the starting lineup. Play-by-play story right after this.
Is it me, guys? Or do we really look ridiculous?
Man, for free Bud Light, I'm doing 70s night.
Come on, brother.
You're letting in a draft.
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
Rogaine Extra Strength is proven to work for 4 out of 5 men.
I like my chances.
Only Rogaine has extra strength, and it's proven to stop hair loss or regrow hair. Rogaine Extra Strength, proven to work.
Hey, Dad, can I bring Mom back for show and tell?
Ooh, I got a better idea. How about that picture of you with the snake?
Yeah, cool.
How about your first birthday? What?
Picture CD from Kodak and Intel. Puts your pictures on your PC.
It's just a lot of pictures.
Or finding that special picture.
Bye, Daddy.
Wait. Found it.
Starting with your next roll of film, get a CD with your prints.
I've never found an antacid to be pleasant sweet stinger.
Well, now there's new fast-acting Mylanta Supreme.
Wow.
This tastes really good.
It doesn't taste like medicine, I'll tell you.
No, tastes like a dessert.
Supreme relief. Taste it for yourself.
Do you have this size?
Braves baseball on the Superstation, brought to you by Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide. By Kodak Picture CD, everything you need to organize, enhance, and share your pictures on your PC. By fast-acting Mylanta, my doctor said Mylanta. And by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
It's a warm, sunny day here in Toronto as we get set for the first of three between the Braves and the Blue Jays. The Sky Dome roof is open. It will be a very hot day down on the turf. And just prior to the start of today's game, the Blue Jays honored Henry Aaron in commemoration of the 25th anniversary of him breaking Babe Ruth's record. And not only did he get to throw out the first pitch and be honored by the fans here in Toronto, but the Blue Jays players, here represented by Carlos Delgado, presented him with a Blue Jays jersey as he threw out the first pitch. So the Toronto fans, like a lot of other clubs in the major leagues, honoring Henry here in 1999. The Blue Jays take the field in time to take a look at the Pepsi AC Chewable starting lineup. First for Atlanta, and check out the top of the order. The DH, Keith Lockhart, gets the start today at the top of the order. He'll be followed by Brett Boone and Chipper Jones. Brian Jordan remains in the cleanup spot. And then Ryan Klesko, who has been red hot. Andrew Jones in center. Javi Lopez will do the catching. He has not been behind the plate since June 20th. Randall Simon will hit 8. Walt Weiss moves down to the 9 spot in the order. Defensively for the Blue Jays, a very young ball club, but a very active one. They, like we said, steal a lot of bases. They're very fast. Shannon Stewart in left leads the American League in stolen bases. Jose Cruz Jr. in center. Sean Green in right. Willis Otunez, claimed off waivers from Baltimore, is at third base today. Tony Batista is at short. Homer Bush at second. Carlos Delgado will be the first baseman. Veteran Darren Fletcher will do the catching for Joey Hamilton out of Statesboro, Georgia. 28 years old, 6'4", 230. His move to the American League has been a disaster. This is only his 10th start, and you see his numbers there. He was on the disabled list beginning April 14th for a while, resting a tender right shoulder. And look at these numbers. I mean, only 28 strikeouts in 49 innings might give you an idea by comparison to Joey Hamilton, who in the past has been very much a power pitcher, and maybe that right shoulder really bothering him with respect to how much velocity he's able to generate. He's also had a lot of first inning problems. We'll tell you about those in just a minute. The umpires for today's game, all American League umpires. Tim Cheetah behind the plate. Rick Reeves at first base. The crew chief is Al Clark. And at third base, Larry Young. Well, if you go into New York and you win 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, that's pretty good work. But the Braves got it stuck on them pretty good yesterday, and hopefully they'll be able to bounce back today.
And Keith Lockhart will lead things off, and we hope you enjoy spending your Sunday afternoon with us. We appreciate having you here. Joey Hamilton ready to go to work. Fastball almost hit him. 1 ball, no strikes. John Smoltz pitched yesterday for Greenville, not as well as he did his first time out. There's a strike. 2 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 strikeouts.
Hamilton's giving up an average of 364 in the first inning.
That's out of play down the right field line, and the sun-drenched fans battle for the souvenir.
He's never really pitched well against Atlanta either. Last year with the Padres, he was 1-2, and lifetime just 2-8 against the Braves with a high ERA, 5.68.
Fly ball into left field. That should be easy. Shannon Stewart is there. He's got it, 1 down. Stewart's the guy that caught the first pitch thrown by Henry Aaron, and the first thing he did was grab a pen and get Henry to sign that ball.
He might have been fighting some teammates to be able to be the guy to catch that first pitch.
Here's Brett Boone hitting .253 on the year. One ball, no strikes.
David Wells pitched a complete game effort yesterday to help the Blue Jays salvage 1 game of 3 against the Florida Marlins, who are playing great in interleague play.
Foul back, 2-1.
Marlins are getting hammered pretty good on a regular basis by the National League teams, but in interleague play they're 10-5.
2 balls and a strike. Broken bat, grounder to third. Otunez across the diamond in plenty of time, 2 out. So Boone is retired. And Chipper Jones, the batter. Hamilton has given up a lot of runs in the first inning, but so far so good today.
Those 98 numbers are for 34 starts that he made with San Diego. Like we said, this is only his 10th start. He's made some relief appearances this year while trying to get his shoulder problems resolved. Left-handers hitting .412 against him for the year. Right-handers .277. Hasn't been fooling many people.
Low and away, 1-0 to Chipper. 93 miles an hour they clocked that fastball. Well hit to right, but Sean Green is there, and the inning is over. So Hamilton sails through the first in 1-2-3 fashion. We go to the bottom half, no score.
I remember the morning Dad came home.
Family.
We go to the bottom half of the first inning here at Skydome, and let's take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays starting lineup. Shannon Stewart leads the American League in stolen bases. He'll be followed by Jose Cruz. And then Sean Green, who has put together a career-high 15-game hitting streak that includes 23 hits over that period. Carlos Delgado has hit in 7 straight. He'll follow. And then Tony Fernández, Darren Fletcher, the bottom third of the order. Tony Batista, who came over from the Diamondbacks, and he's tearing it up power-wise. Then Willis Artañez and Homer Bush. There's the Braves defense. Same as usual with the addition of Javi Lopez, who's back behind the plate for the first time since late June, and we'll keep a close eye on him today as to how he's able to get up and down out of that crouch from the pitches of Kevin Millwood, who's on the mound for his 19th start. He has been almost unbeatable since May 17th and pitched well in the All-Star game, too.
Shannon Stewart, a .306 hitter, leads it off against him. And takes a strike. 9 homers, 46 RBIs, 29 stolen bases for this guy. So if he gets on, Javi's going to get tested early.
Javi said he would stay in his crouch or on his knees as much as possible so he didn't have to stand up and throw the ball back to Kevin.
Ground ball fair into the left field corner. Stewart can fly. He's on his way to second. Plus go up with it. And a leadoff double starts the game. Jose Cruz, the batter.
Stewart turned on that ball pretty well. Fastball that was supposed to be in, but it was out over the plate, and Millwood paid for it. And he's not shy about running anytime, so you're going to have to hold him close at second base, too.
He edges away from second. Cruz shortened a bunt, took it low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Interesting thing about Cruz's year, and he was on the disabled list with a broken finger and missed some time. And you see his average is down under right around 230, but he's got a .352 on base percentage. He's drawing some walks and getting on, so it's not a complete waste.
Fastball is high and away. 2-0 the count. Skydome, I guess, about half filled today.
Their crowd average about 6,000 under what it was last year, down to about 24,000.
We're headed for trouble. 3-0 the count. To the left-hand hitter. He, too, has good speed. Cruz talking about his struggles at the plate. He says he's trying to just simplify everything. In other words, probably thinking too much. That happens to young hitters. Just see the ball and hit the ball.
One of the few guys you'll see hitting with shades on. It's interesting.
3-2 the count. Cruz didn't think so. His dad, a terrific player, of course, for Houston for many years.
Very consistent, too. A lot of clouds overhead today, so it shouldn't be a glaring sun all day, but he's got the shades on anyway.
Payoff pitch. Right in on his hands, but he fought it off. Still 3-2. There's the sky above the retractable roof.
Kevin having a little trouble getting together here. Keep an eye on Javi, too, as to how he gets set up with a runner on base. Catchers can't just sit on their haunches with a runner on base. They've got to come up in a crouch and see if that's a problem for him. He's got 2 of those knee savers on today. Try to help him out some.
Another 3-2 pitch due Cruz. Fouled away again.
You know, catching's hard enough because you've got all that gear on and those shin guards. But can you imagine what it's like trying to get down with that big brace on as well?
I don't envy him at all. Bobby, we asked him before the game, what's plan B if this doesn't work, if he just can't do it? He said, we're in a whole lot of trouble. Cruz stands back in. 3-2 pitch. He lost it.
Javi had to slide out to block that pitch, too, and land hard on his right knee.
And it hurt him, pretty obviously.
But keep in mind, too, that if he does have to throw, he's going to have to throw off his back foot. That's the one you push off of. That's his right leg. That's the one that's hurt. And not real good balance coming up out of that.
Another tough out, Sean Green. 15-game hitting streak. He's hitting .330. 25 homers, 72 RBIs, 16 stolen bases. He's an all-star. 1 ball, no strikes.
He's a pretty well-kept secret, I think, because he plays north of the border, but participated in the All-Star home run hitting contest. He's no secret to the Braves. Last year, he was 7 for 13 against Atlanta with 2 homers, and lifetime 11 for 20 against the Braves with 4 homers. They know all about him.
More than they would like to know. Pop fouled, out of play. 1-1 the count. He doesn't look like a home run hitter. He looks like a leadoff man, Steve Finley type guy.
He's bigger than he looks, though.
Yeah.
6'4", 200 pounds. A little wiry, but he's hit some long ones, including an upper deck shot here.
A Joe Simpson looking.
Lean and mean.
Outfit. Well, you're half right.
Don't test me. Find out which one.
I know which one. 1-2 the count.
They never used to have to tarp off the upper deck here, but with the crowd numbers down, they've gone to that look that we've seen in other ballparks that have scuffled with some of their attendants.
Pittsburgh and Florida come to mind. Down the right field line, foul ball. Boy, hit the daylights out of that.
Pretty friendly confines here in this ballpark. It's not a big yard dimension-wise. 328 down the line, 375 to the gaps, and only 400 to straightaway center. And generally speaking, especially with the roof closed, it jumps pretty good here.
It looks bigger than it is, I think, because of that big thing hanging over the field. Started to go, held up, 2-2 the count. High fastball.
Kevin went the distance in his last start before the All-Star break. He went 9 innings against Florida and beat them 5-2, but he's expending a lot of energy here in the first inning already and doesn't have an out.
He has one now. Green out on strikes. He got a tough hitter. There's the first out. Here's another one. Carlos Delgado.
Like Kevin rode that fastball in on his hands. And he couldn't get around. Good spot for that pitch.
Here's Carlos Delgado. It's either feast or famine with this guy. 254. That's not so hot. But 22 homers and 81 RBIs, that is. I remember him hitting one off the Stadium Club windows when we were up here a couple years ago. A little bit inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
He's popped one into the upper deck here, too. Commemorated with some numbers up there on the tarp. There's the glassed in Stadium Club. That's up in right field.
And of course, there's the famous hotel. Trouble down the left field line, twisting foul, thank goodness. 1-1 the count. There's the hotel, which will always live in infamy in baseball circles, I guess. The pitch. A couple years ago, some fans, Joe, decided to try to prove in public in one of those hotel rooms that you can beat fun at the old ballpark.
Yes, indeed.
They failed to pull that curtain. Two and two, the count.
Recent days, we were talking about Henry Aaron and his strikeout numbers and the fact that he never struck out 100 times in a season. Delgado's already fanned 96 times this year.
See if Millwood can make it 97 here. Out of play, still 2 and 2.
Jose Canseco, thanks Phil. Canseco leads the American League with 97, but he's going to be stuck on that number for a while. What you read about his back surgery is that he may not even be back this year.
It's a shame, it really is. Well, he's tied with Canseco now, Millwood's second strikeout. But now he's got to get father time. Tony Fernández hitting .366.
High fastball.
Fernández has 5 home runs. That's not a big deal. But he has 59 RBIs, and that is his career high in his long career. 72 RBIs. He's going to sail past that. He's having the year of his life.
37 years old.
Out of play, 0-1. They're not getting around very much on Kevin.
He's been playing third base a lot, but has received a day off the last 2 days from that duty. Atenez playing third. And Tony DHing, second in the league in hitting in the American League. And had been leading for most of the year until the last week or two.
Out of play again, 0-2. He's a perpetual motion machine at the plate.
Looks like he's got a little Stan Musial thing working.
Uh-huh.
The knees bent and kind of almost touching each other.
He and Bobby Cox, a mutual admiration society. Bobby managed him up here for several years.
It's a little different look for him, and it's working.
Still 0-2. He's first in the American League with a .459 on-base percentage, by the way.
I remember when he first came up, they already had a good shortstop, Alfredo Griffin. And they said, well, this guy's going to be better. And they traded Griffin. I said, how can they do that? I mean, this guy's a good player. And then I saw Tony Fernández play and realized that they knew what they were doing.
Chopper down the first base line is foul. 0-2 the count.
Inning didn't start so well, but Kevin settled in and got into a groove.
The runners lead. Stewart at second, Cruz at first. He just stayed alive again. 27 pitches for Millwood already.
See if he drops a slider on him here. Got that fastball up on his hands where he couldn't handle it, but he fouled it back. Yep.
Oh, you got a piece of it, I guess. It's still 0-2.
You know, a lot of people, when they want to get the umpire's attention during a game, they'll yell, "Hey, blue, blue." Today you're going to have to yell, "Hey, red."
When do they do that, I wonder?
American League umpires, pretty clean look.
Speaking of umpires, Pete was telling me Murray Chass, a highly respected baseball writer, writing in the New York Times this morning, was of the opinion that first the pitch upstairs that Major League Baseball is prepared to accept the resignation of all the umpires, and that none of them will be invited back unless they choose to go to work for Major League Baseball. In other words, this Umps Incorporated or whatever it is, according to Mr. Chass, isn't going to fly.
Well, we all hope they get it worked out somewhere, that they get an agreement of some sort. But when their spokesperson for the Umpires Association refers to the leadership of baseball as Bud Selig and his errand boys, I don't think that that's the kind of communication that is going to endear him to anyone.
Especially Sandy Alderson, who's the guy charged with dealing with the umpire. Still 2-2. Fernández has been up there for an eternity.
And he's hitting pitches that aren't even strikes. He's just fighting off everything. That pitch looked like it was going to hit him.
They play Staying Alive in the background, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Jim Fregosi, the manager, has his team 7 games back of the Yanks. Throw him a knuckleball, Kevin.
Hit him with a pitch. Get him on there. Go after the next guy. That next guy is Darren Fletcher, by the way.
He's thrown about 10 pitches to Fernández.
Here comes number 33, and 34 will follow.
Ned Yost took a look at the pitch count, just curious as to how many he's already thrown this inning.
Tony Fernández has been in the batter's box for 6 minutes.
Well, he's gotten what he needs here, what he wants. He's going to have the runners moving, and now he knows Millwood's got to throw him a strike. It hasn't really mattered to this point because he's been swinging at almost everything.
The runners are saying, "Oh, no, they may run for another 10 minutes." Nope, the duel is finally over, and Millwood strikes out the side. Good comeback by Kevin. 1 hit. No runs, no errors, 2 left at the end of an inning. No score.
While there are a lot of places where people buy parts for their car, the fact is more...
Shop our catalog. Office Depot. Low prices every day.
Go to the second inning. Brian Jordan will lead it off for Atlanta. Where are we going to dinner tonight, Glenn? He hasn't made reservations. Jordan hitting .297, 18 homers, 76 RBI. They don't take reservations at Wendy's, Clint. 1 ball, no strikes. Maybe we'll eat on the boat.
This was the first of the retractable roofs for baseball. Of course, they have a lot of other activities in this dome, but it was the first. And while the dome stadiums in retractable roofs in Arizona and now in Seattle all seem to glide, all the structures glide backwards, this one has a section that pivots.
Who wants it? Right fielder calls for it. Sean Green has it for the first out of the inning. I got all over Jordan last night about, well, you weren't there. He hit a home run that was about 1.5 feet foul.
Oh,
they
yeah.
gave it to him.
Saw it.
I said, that's cheating. He said, I didn't call it. Good point. Here's Ryan Klesko. One ball, no strikes.
Like Chipper, he's had a good month of July. 400 batting average, 6 homers. Had a good series in New York. I hope that those home runs that he hit to New York that barely got out over that 314-foot fence don't cause him to start trying to pull the ball, because he's been in a real good groove hitting to left, center, and around.
3-0 the count. He's been in a good groove against Joey Hamilton in his career. 8 out of 25 with 2 homers. There's the first Atlanta base runner of the day. Klesko takes a walk and Andrew Jones stands in. Andrew 3 out of 11 against Hamilton lifetime. He's hitting .273 with 18 homers, 54 RBI. Slider low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Control suddenly becomes a problem. Javi Lopez will be next for Atlanta. Two balls, no strikes.
Some rough fans here today.
What did that guy say? I couldn't hear.
Hit him in the face.
That's nice.
That was lovely.
3-0. There's a strike right through there. 3-1, and the crowd with a sarcastic cheer. Working a tough room today.
Ooh.
Andrew can't believe that.
He wouldn't have done much of that pitch even if he had swung at it. Fletcher had to reach across himself a little bit to catch that ball, and a generous call from Tim Cheetah.
Runner goes. Ball 4. So 2 are on with 1 out. Javi Lopez will be the batter. Javi, I talked with him the other night in New York. He says, I know I'm not very fast, but now I can't run at all with that brace on.
And he does worry about that on the bases now, about how he's going to slide if he has to, and I'm sure we won't see him slide unless it's absolutely necessary. be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen him slide head first. I thought that might be a possibility, but some guys don't know how to do that. Can't do it.
That was a good breaking ball. He is 7 out of 25 in his career against Joey Hamilton. They say he went. Rick Reed made the call from first base.
Yes, he did.
He did. So he's in an 0-2 hole. Line down the right field line. Trouble if it's fair. It's a foul ball. Wow. That didn't miss by much, but no argument from Atlanta.
Would have scored 2. Andrew Jones was right on Klesko's heels, and it was just foul.
Yep. About an inch.
Would have been a double in New York yesterday.
Yeah. Ed Barrett did not have a real good day umpiring first base yesterday.
Hobby just fought that ball off behind in the count, doing his typical try to go to right swing.
Double play. And the inning is over. 6-4-3 and out. No hits, no runs, no errors, 1 left. Bottom half of the second inning. No score in the ball game.
Hey, Jeff.
State Farm offers its 24-hour Good Neighbor service from participating agents.
Hello, State Farm's Good Neighbor Service. This is Gina. How may I help you? Sure, I can help you with that.
So you can call your agent's office at any time, day or night, to start a claim, ask a question, and get the help you need.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
We go to the bottom half of the second inning. That's not the shot we expected coming back.
What were you expecting?
A shot of the hotel.
You're into the hotel, aren't you?
I'm into our hotel up about 12 blocks away.
It's a pretty town.
It really is. Very clean city. Darren Fletcher leads off the bottom of the second.
CN Tower stands right over the stadium looking in. Giant structure.
Fletcher, the former Montreal catcher, hitting .297, 9 homers, 39 RBI.
Elevator hit it up. The CN Tower.
What's CN? Canadian National
Railroad, yes. I think it's the tallest freestanding structure in the world, isn't it? Certainly in North America.
One and two, the count.
Fletcher spent some time on the disabled list. He got hit on his right eye during batting practice. Suffered a fracture.
4 strikeouts in a row for Kevin Millwood.
They're also missing their terrific young shortstop, Alex Gonzalez. That's why they had to make the deal for this guy, Tony Batista. They needed some help at short, and he has certainly provided that.
4 home runs in his last 9 games, 10 overall. He's a guy with a very weird batting stance. How can you hit like that?
It gets different from there.
Strike on the corner.
It's a short swing, I can tell you that.
Well, I'm not knocking him, but it's just, how would you ever develop that style? 2-0 the count.
They think when Gonzalez comes back next year and plays shortstop that they'll move Batista to second.
He swings and misses that one. Tim Smith is our high home cameraman today, and he's really torn between what shots to take.
That last shot we had, a rare one that you don't often get from the catwalk up there in center field.
Batista's out of there. 5 in a row. Set down on strikes.
Mostly fastballs and sliders. Even when he finally got Tony Fernandez, it was with a 3-2 breaking ball. This is a fastball right on the outside corner.
Willis Otanez, the batter, hitting .223. 4 homers, 15 RBIs.
They got him off waivers in late May from Baltimore. He hit .213 with the Orioles, 2 homers, 11 RBIs.
One ball, no strikes. High fly ball, a mile high. Klesko comes on. He's there. He's got it, and the inning is over. So Millwood breezes through the second. 1, 2, 3. At the end of 2, no score. Now what's
Western Whopper with Burger King. When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
No scores. We go to the top of the third inning, and fans, don't forget, defending race champion Jeff Gordon takes on current points leader Dale Jarrett and the best on the NASCAR circuit at the tricky tri-oval called Pocono. The Pennsylvania 500 is July 25th only on the Superstation. The tricky tri-oval.
Tricky tri-oval, huh? There's what baseball's all about. She doesn't know the score, I bet. Randall Simon leads it off for Atlanta. Joey Hamilton deals, and it's looped down the left side. Everybody chasing it. No play. 0-1 the count. Otanez was in hot pursuit. What a surprise. Randall swung at the first pitch.
Hasn't met one yet he didn't like.
No. Up the middle, there's the first Atlanta hit, and it was a solid one. So Simon is aboard, and Walt Weiss, hitting in the 9th spot today, will come up to hit. He is 6 out of 25 in his career against Hamilton.
As you look at Walt Weiss's numbers, this Blue Jays team, 30 and 21 at home. They're playing good baseball, and they're beating the teams they should be beating, but they're losing to the teams in front of them. For example, they're 11-1 against Baltimore, and they are 7-3 against Anaheim. Let's see, they had a 5-1 record against Detroit, but against Boston and New York, they're combined 1-12. Ooh.
Almost hit him. His 2 balls, no strikes. Walt down to 229, a homer, 20 RBIs.
Hit and run might be in order here, or the next pitch. Try to help get Walt going.
They're going to try to turn it. They get their runner at second. Weiss is on at first.
That looked like a rough slide down at second for Simon, too. He kind of bounced in there.
And he's limping a little bit as he comes off.
He's had that sore knee that probably will require some attention after the season. But watch how when he gets to second, how he...
Yeah, he got his ankle sort of twisted under him. Oh, and 1 to Keith Lockhart. We're scoreless in the third inning. Elsewhere, the Phillies got 2 in the first at Tampa. It's raining in New York. Where Montreal wants to play the Yankees. Detroit all over Cincinnati, 6-0 in the second. High, lazy fly to center field. Jose Cruz Jr. is there. 2 out. And Brett Boone, the batter, grounded to third his first time.
So many opponents have been pitching Brett up and offering that fastball to him that's about chin high or above, and he's been going after it and basically getting himself out. It'll be interesting to see if the scattering report on Brett has carried over to the Blue Jays.
Fast strike right in there. Low and inside, it's 1-1.
I would venture to say that even though he walked 2 batters last inning, this is one of the better efforts for Hamilton. His only win came on June 21st against Kansas City, and he hasn't pitched in 11 days. And that was not a good effort against Baltimore. His teammates bailed him out, but he went only 3 1/3 innings, gave up 10 hits and 6 runs, and they came back to win the game anyway.
And that win you're talking about is his first win since last September 11th. Ground ball to short will end the inning, and does. So nothing doing for Atlanta in the third. They get a hit, but no runs. No errors, 1 left. Bottom half of the third inning. No score in the ball game.
Tonight on the Superstation, we're hitting the trail.
Twice. Came out here, City Slickers. You're going to go home.
We go to the bottom of the third inning. Time for today's Aflac Trivia question, and it is today: which 4 Blue Jays pitchers started against the Braves in the 1992 World Series? I'll give you a hint. Remember that Lonnie Smith grand slam that he hit here over in the Braves bullpen? It helped at the time, but it wasn't enough. And it was off an old Braves nemesis from the year before. That's one hint.
That is not one of the 4 pitchers that started against us. Back in 92. Homer Bush leads things off here in the bottom of the third, hitting at .289 on the year, a homer, and 25 RBIs. He's doing all right out there. He's got 20 stolen bases, too. Millwood deals to Bush. 2-0 to count.
A lot of ink in the papers here about the comparison between David Wells and how well he's pitching here versus Clemens in New York. And especially after the Braves beat Clemens on Thursday night. Toronto fans very happy with their end of the deal at this point.
Millwood doesn't want to lose Bush here. He can really run. But he does. Bush to the board. And here's Shannon Stewart, who doubled his first out.
One of the luxuries you have if you're in the American League with the DH is that you can have a fast runner at the bottom of the order that you can bat back-to-back with a fast leadoff man. He's like a second leadoff hitter. He just got skipped in the order once.
Stewart doubled to left his first time. Bush a huge lead, and they got it.
Boy, that was a big lead. Not only did he have a foot on the carpet, he almost had 2 feet on the carpet. And that snap throw, and he looked like he was going, and he was a dead out. Look how far he was out on the turf. And now what do you do? Call time.
That Bush just got transplanted there. And Stewart now bats with 1 out and nobody on. One ball, no strikes. You know, you can't keep secrets in this game. They know about Javi Lopez. They can see that brace. And that's why Bush was so eager to go.
Right. We've got a lot of different guys that are doing well in the on-base percentage department. Nice to have your leadoff man doing such a good job, too. Shannon Stewart at over 375.
2 balls, 1 strike. This is the home of the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League.
Argonauts.
Argonauts?
As in Jason. And the Argonauts.
Never heard of it. Is that a restaurant here? 3 balls and a strike. Right in there. Full count now. Go ahead and walk him and pick him off. That worked out well.
I don't think Kevin minds pitching on a hot day. I think he loves the warmth. He's shown before that he's willing to go out there and give it all he's got, as he showed against the Mets.
Missed with a breaking ball. Not by much. That's his 3rd walk.
He may be, and in fact, some of his teammates have called him their horse this year because he has certainly picked the team up when other starters were struggling, and he gives you a lot of innings. Very strong guy. 6'4", 220.
Jose Cruz, the batter now, but we see Stewart run.
It'll be worth just seeing how Javi comes up out of there to see how he gets tested.
Look out, almost hit him. 1 ball, no strikes.
Cruz is another one of those players that Seattle dealt away trying to find some bullpen help one year, late in the year, and boy, did they get some heat in Seattle for trading him when he had just arrived at the big leagues. He had been a #1 pick out of Bel Air High School in Houston. Was showing a lot of promise to be their left fielder for years to come, along with Ken Griffey and Jay Buhner.
Terry Bevington coaches down at 3rd for Toronto, and Lloyd Mosby, who's a fine major league player, coaches at 1st. Count stays a ball and a strike.
And part of what Kevin's doing here, I think, is a big help to Javi. He's trying his best to give Lopez a chance in case they are running.
Not running. 2 balls and a strike. I'd like to see him take off just so we can find out what we're going to find out eventually.
When Javi's in that position there, he's got all of his weight on his left knee to give the signs, and then comes up out of his crouch.
3-1. If he loses him, it'll be his third straight walk, though he picked the runner up. He walked him nonetheless. There he goes. And there it goes into deep left center field. Andrew Jones on the run. He's got it. Runner returns to first. Cruz hit that ball a long way.
When you're playing in a ballpark you're not real familiar with, that's a tough chore there for Ryan Klesko. He knows he probably has a play on that ball, but he's got to respect Andrew's range. And you've got the crowd right above you, so there's a lot of noise out there. And a good job by Ryan to peel off and get out of the way.
And those shadows out there can become a factor, too.
Yes.
Sean Green stands in. Did you ever play at the old ballpark here, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like?
It wasn't a great experience.
No?
No. It was a fun place that they made good enough for the fans. In fact, they worked real hard to do that, but the playing surface was horrible.
Yeah, I'd heard that before. Got him. Woohoo! And the inning is over.
Hobby says thank you.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen two runners picked off in the same inning. No hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 3, we are scoreless.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular?
Against the Braves, the 92 World Series included Jack Morris, David Cohn, David Wells, and Jose Guzman. Juan Guzman, beg your pardon. I'd forgotten about David Cohn being with this team then.
Well, I knew that one. That's the only one.
Right.
That's the only one I knew.
Really?
I thought it was Steve. Chipper takes outside.
Bonnie Smith at that grand slam off Jack Morris.
That should be easy. Bush throws him out, 1 down. Brian Jordan is the batter.
I believe hitting was optional today for everybody because the team did arrive here pretty late after some travel difficulties yesterday.
Yeah, it was sort of strange. Delta did a great job of getting the plane there. There was only one small problem. They forgot to have a crew. But they showed up eventually, and then we had to wait for heavy thunderstorms before we took off. So it was about a 6-hour odyssey. There's a base hit.
And that wouldn't be so bad if the game were tonight, but for the day game,
yeah, well, it still was
short turnaround.
Yeah, it was still. We were there about 10 o'clock, I guess. Ryan Klesko, the batter. But it is a funny feeling to. The bus pulls into the airport, you see the plane, and you just sit on the bus for a half hour. Oh well, these things happen.
Good cut by Ryan. Just a little bit late on it. 5 homers, 10 RBIs, last 9 games. He's just staying on the ball so much better than he was. Does that, he seems to get a little bit longer look at the baseball before he reacts to it, and as a result doesn't chase quite as many bad pitches.
And hits the pitch away to left field.
Their outfielders play deep. with this artificial turf, they have to. Again, it's not a huge ballpark by any means. I guess if there's anybody that plays a little shallower, it's Stewart in left, and he's got some pretty good speed to run anything down.
Stayed alive, and the count stays a ball and 2 strikes.
And every time we come back here, when I look at the outfield, the first thing I think of is that great play Devon White made on David Justice, crashing into the wall out there in center in the World Series. Could measure the lead from that shot. Both runners that were picked off last inning were very close to having both feet on the carpet. They were the only 2 pickoffs so far this year for Millwood.
Into right field. Jordan around second, races for third. He'll make it as the throw is cut off. So the Braves are in business, first and third, and only 1 out. Andrew Jones is the batter. He walked his first time. Good speed at third base. Pretty good speed at first. Good speed in the batter's box.
Good at bat by Ryan, finding that hole on the right side where the runner was being held. Be patient here, Andrew.
Fastball for a strike, 0-1.
Bobby was talking about that today, about Andrew's patience and how he thinks that has really helped him. Not just in recent days, but all year long.
Line double play. That's a shame. Hit the daylights out of it, but right at the third baseman, Otanya. And Jordan was easily doubled off. So, a great opportunity goes by the boards, though you can't blame Andrew. He hit the daylights out of the ball. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 1 left. Bottom of the 4th. We are still scoreless.
Hey, Jeff, what you doing?
Just buying a ticket online for my golf trip this weekend.
Whoa, Mr. Computer. Is the phone too...
Let's take a look at the Office Depot scoreboard. Florida and Boston tied at 5. Veritek and Buford have homered for the Red Sox. Detroit leading Cincinnati. Clark and Palmer have homered there. Montreal failed to score in the first. At New York, as they had a rain delay, Philadelphia on top of Tampa Bay. Scott Rowlands hit his 21st home run. And that's all your scores of games that are underway at the moment on your Office Depot scoreboard.
Beautifully done, Joe. Thank you very much.
And boy, things at the British Open got tight. That Frenchman who was leading triple bogeyed 18, and now there's a 3-way playoff.
Triple bogey?
Triple bogeyed, number 18.
Here's Sean Green. Takes a strike. He's about to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Green struck out his first time. 1-1 is the count to him. He was at the plate when Stewart was picked off first.
9th in the league in hitting, 5th in runs scored, 4th in total bases, 3rd in doubles, 3rd in homers, 1st in extra base hits, 7th in RBIs.
Simon can't get it. It's in the right field corner. And Green is at second base
with another extra base hit. I don't know how much experience Randall has playing on artificial turf, Skip, but he already has landed hard on a slide at second, and then on that dive for the ball, he just kind of stabbed himself into the turf. Did everything he could to try to knock this ball down, and then he just kind of rolled up in a little pile there. You don't get a whole lot of distance on a slide on this stuff.
No. Delgado, too, was a strikeout victim his first time. 81 RBIs already. Green has 72. Fernández has 59. Delgado heads for second. He'll make it easily. Back-to-back doubles, and Toronto leads.
Well, after that last graphic you saw, Delgado didn't want to lose any ground to Green in the extra base hit race. His 82nd RBI. Watch his top hand come through on this pitch. Went out and got it and pulled it into the corner. Boy, is he quick.
That got a little too much of the plate. Kevin would be the first to tell you that. Tony Fernández, the hitter. All the guys that struck out the first time are hitting the daylights out of the ball the second time. The count. The hits are even at 3, but the Blue Jays lead it 1-0.
Tony's got the shades on too, or at least the lenses that help you see a little better. Look like those old shooting glasses, you know, the skeet shooters, trap shooters.
Why is a skeet called a skeet?
I don't know.
That was a brilliant piece of analysis.
Yeah, it was. Well, unlike some people, I'd rather just tell you I don't know.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Somebody in the truck will know that. One and two, the count.
Tony's got one of those thin-handled, big-barreled bats. Easy to whip the head of the bat through the strike zone, and looks like he's just trying to use his hands here, although he hasn't had a good pitch to try to pull to get the runner to third base.
Another foul ball.
Just hands, not much else.
By the way, in case anybody wonders, 10 boxes of baseballs is about the average for a major league game, and they prepare 12 boxes for every game.
Came right out of the skeet question, I think.
No, it came out of a talk show.
Here we go with the foul balls again.
Yes. Started to go, but did not. Hobby came through that okay, though it hurt him, obviously.
Staggered a little bit after he tried to regain his feet, landing on that knee. You know, when you think about it, his approach here, not just this at bat, but this entire season so far, is a pretty wise one, especially here in this ballpark. Short swing, just using his hands. On the turf, you're going to get a lot of balls that shoot through the infield. Occasionally, you'll get somebody to make a mistake, and you can drive it in a gap. He's got 5 homers.
Broken bat pop. Can Chipper get there? No.
Even his foul balls are well placed. We're going to have to get another thin-handled, big-barreled bat.
We had another question on the talk show today, and I had to guess at the answer. How many bats does an everyday Major League ball player use in a season? I know that there were years where Pete Rose used only 1.
Yeah, I've read that. That's a hard one to have to really believe. I'd have to hear that straight from Pete to believe that.
What's the average, would you guess?
I have no idea. 4 or 5 dozen anyway.
That's more than I guess. I said 15.
for this road trip. Let's see, how many? 3, 6, 7, 8, 11 games, 12 games, counting a doubleheader. The guys are going to bring anywhere from probably 5 to 8 bats on this road trip.
That's interesting. I didn't realize it was that high.
Well, you got to have 1 or 2 just for batting practice that you wouldn't want to use in a game unless you were forced to at the end of the road trip where you're down to only a couple. Save your gamers for the game.
Full count. So one nice thing about Tony batting, you can cover a whole lot of subjects on his hit. Payoff pitch. Fouled away again.
He's basically telling Kevin, you throw it and I'll try to hit it.
And succeeded in hitting it, and it's 2-0. 3 straight doubles. Still nobody out.
Well, he won the battle that time. Millwood won it in the first inning with runners at first and second. But again, watch how short and easy this swing is. The head never moved. Watch his head on this swing. Stride, head stays still. Nothing but hands. Even his hips didn't open up that much. Just a flip of the bat through the zone.
Javi again to the mound. Still no bullpen action for Atlanta. Darren Fletcher will be the batter. Kevin struck out 5 men in a row in the first and second innings. Green, Delgado, and Fernández were the first 3 of them, and they've all doubled. 11 pitches, 8 of them strikes to Fernández on this last at bat. And at least that many, maybe more, his first time.
He needs an out.
My guess is that about 30% of his pitches have been to Tony Fernández in this game. Still nobody out.
Darren Fletcher, by and large, pretty good pull hitter. Tried to pull that pitch and fouled it off, but with 3 straight doubles, he's trying to get that runner to third base. They haven't needed to yet.
Almost hit him.
They've got a good offensive lineup. They put pressure on you in a lot of different ways. 2 guys in the middle of the order with a lot of sock and Green and Delgado. Fletcher's hitting close to 300. Former Brave Gary Matthews, probably a big part of that. He's the hitting coach.
Fletcher first came up with Los Angeles, then played with the Phillies, then with Montreal. This is his second year in Toronto. There's a guy that played hard every day, Gary Matthews.
You never liked running with that helmet on, did he?
No.
He'd get a base hit, boy, the first thing that came off was that helmet. Had over 2,000 career hits.
Simon boots it, recovers, has plenty of time. Runner at third, one up. And Tony Bautista will have a chance to drive in a run.
Fletcher did the job and got a pitch he could handle and pull and hit it hard. Braves are going to play the infield in here, and that's a big challenge if you're the infielder playing on this turf.
Runner at third, one out. Bautista, yet another middle infielder out of the Dominican Republic.
He likes to swing a lot like Delgado did on that double Delgado hit in the double into the right field corner. He likes to go out with his top hand and turn on the ball. Chipper and Weiss have to be heads up on this occasion.
It evens up at a ball and a strike.
One of the difficult parts about his hitting stance, Skip, you know, you talked about how unorthodox it is. When a pitcher goes into his stretch, he has to already get down into that real low position, and then he's got to sit there and wait. Might be beneficial to Millwood to make him wait, throw his timing off a little bit. Right there.
On the corner, Bautista didn't think so. He came over here along with reliever John Frascatori in exchange for Dan Plesac back on June 12th. Plesac going to Arizona.
That's a great deal for Toronto at the moment.
A little low.
Only because this guy is really playing well. His average is not all that high. I'm just under 270, but he's giving them some pop at the bottom of the order. Behind in the count a little bit. He's been trying to go the other way almost, falling across the plate trying to guard the plate. I think it's primarily because Kevin and Javi know that anything middle of the plate in, he's going to try to duck hook it third base side. See if they can get him to chase one up. That's what Javi wants.
He got it up. Here's the catch. He's not coming. And it's fortunate for him that he didn't. Bautista hit it hard, but out.
That is probably a base hit if a Braves hitter hit that ball. Only because the Blue Jays outfielders play deeper. Jose Cruz Jr. was playing deeper. Andrew, with the position he normally takes, it turns into an out and no run scored.
Willis Otanez is the batter.
Andrew's probably playing a good 4 or 5 steps in front of where Cruz plays.
Otanez, too, from the Dominican. Been up and down in the Baltimore system. Started out in the Dodger chain.
Kevin can get through this with only the 2 runs being scored. He'll consider himself fortunate after 3 straight doubles to start the inning and then turn it over to the Braves offense to try to catch up.
.92-mile-an-hour fastball there, and the count is 0-2.
Probably checking out some stuff on the Blue Jays players and the media guide.
Good curveball. That takes care of Otanez, but not before. 2-run score on 3 hits. They were all double. At the end of 4, 2-0 Toronto.
All on the Superstation, brought to you by MasterCard. MasterCard, proud sponsor of Major League Baseball and fan of the great American pastime. And by Office Depot, low prices every day.
We go to the 5th inning. There's the story of the game to this point. You're just an inning away, by the way, from the Budweiser game summary, so stay tuned for that. Javi Lopez leads things off. He hit to a double play his first time. 1-0 the count. The 2-0 pitch. Sharply hit. Otañez backs up field and scores a good run. 1 out.
Maybe another runner beats this out. It's a close play, but a good play by the third baseman.
That's got to be frustrating for Lopez because he beats that out ordinarily. But not with that thing on his leg.
You just mentioned earlier, though, that Javi already knew before the injury that he didn't run real well. Think about how frustrating it is for a guy who's used to stealing bases, who goes through those same injuries and has to adjust. And
that's easy.
Carlos, get out the ball.
Bush guns down Simon.
Well, the Braves are making Joey Hamilton feel pretty good. He's been getting beat up all year long. Even at home, an ERA over 8. And he's shutting out the Braves so far on 3 hits.
Pete and Don will join you after this half inning comes to a close. Dan Reagan, our director today, and Glenn Diamond, our producer and events coordinator. Breaking ball for a strike. 0-2.
Moving down in the order might help Walt. Might take a little pressure off of it, too, as he's been trying to get some things worked out, trying to figure out a way to get on base at the same time as the leadoff hitter.
That's out of play. And the count stays the same.
But he is just 4 for his last 43, and that's got to get better.
Walt taking a page out of Fernández's book now. 3 straight foul balls. Still 0-2.
Well, that's good. Make Hamilton work a little bit. Keep Millwood in the dugout a little bit longer.
Lazy fly. Stewart on the run into foul territory. He's got room. And the inning comes to a close. Nothing doing for Atlanta. 1-2-3. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Blue Jays 2, Braves nothing.
Dandruff, psoriasis, scalp dermatitis.
Well, Joey Hamilton trying to get well against any opposition, whether it's been American League or National League, after a slow start, some injuries, and he's done it so far today.
Yeah, if you look at his numbers, he's had, well, his whole year started off badly because he made a couple of starts and then had problems with his right shoulder, some impingements. And then when he was healthy and was throwing, he'd have a good inning, then he'd have a bad inning. He'd have a good game, he'd have a bad game. But today, unfortunately for Braves, he's starting to get comfortable, and by that I mean he's throwing one strike right after the other, and most of the outs are coming on ground balls. And when Joey Hamilton is getting ground ball outs, you could be in for a long day.
Bottom half of the 5th inning, 2-0. And Homer Bush leads it off against Kevin Millwood, who's really had the battle today. Thrown a lot of pitches. That'll be out of play. And it's even on Homer Bush. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on or out here in the bottom of the 5th. Blue Jays leading at 2-0. Upstairs, 2-1.
Been a strange day for Kevin Millwood. He got into a jam early. You go into a ball game, Pete, you try to figure out in the bullpen what's working for you. Sometimes you can get a false read. Then you get out to the mound, you say, okay, this is what's working for me. Early, Kevin Millwood went to the curveball, the breaking ball, saw it wasn't as crisp as before.
Deep right field. Jordan will have a play, though, shy of the track out there, 1 away.
I think he saw that his curveball wasn't as crisp as it was last ball game and quickly realized that. He had a runner at second and then a walk when he figured it out. He went to his fastball. His fastball is lively. And I think the second thing the Braves have found out is that this Toronto Blue Jay ball club is a breaking ball, hitting ball club, and you can pitch them on their fists, and that's what Millwood has done. The back-to-back doubles by Green and Delgado both came on breaking balls. You just got to give Fernández credit for winning another battle when he got his double.
Shannon Stewart has doubled and walked in 2 plate appearances. He was picked off first, one of 2 pickoffs that Kevin Millwood had in the same inning. And there's a strike in the outside corner to Shannon Stewart.
And his first double on a curveball that he yanked inside the bag. So these guys, you throw some breaking balls for strikes, they're all over them.
In the air, left center field, indeed. Klesko and Jones both after this one. It's going to be one hopping the wall out there. Stewart can fly. Big turn at second. He'll hold on there. Second double of the day for Shannon Stewart. 15th double of the year.
That's 5 hits for the Toronto Blue Jays. That's 5 doubles, and 4 have come on breaking balls. Not a single hit on a fastball today. A 1-strike slider. Knee high, out away from him. This ball club does not miss breaking stuff in the strike zone. You know, you got to throw some. You can't just be a 1-pitch pitcher. You got to throw some. But I think what you have to do is you have to mix it in out of the strike zone. Just show it to him. Use it as an effect pitch.
Well, it's definitely been a battle for Kevin today. It's not been his most effective day, and he's really done well to be only down by a 2-0 count to this point.
Well, that's a big step he's taken. How many times have we seen him come out of a ballgame? We'd talk to him the next day. He said, boy, I had to labor yesterday. And we would both say to him, yeah, but you gave the ball club a chance to win. When you can't dominate, that's your pitcher's job. Give your ball club a chance to win.
Jose Cruz 0 for 1 with a walk. He's also fly to center. Runner at second, 1 out. See if Millwood can get out of this one. 1 ball, no strikes now to Cruz.
Finding out that there are different kinds of wins is usually something that a young pitcher finds on his way back to AAA. Not many pick that up. They're young in their career at the big league level without a trip back, but Kevin Millwood has figured it out.
Approaching 100 pitches. We're only in the 5th inning. Popped it straight up, but drifting back out of play, and the count will be even. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's had a couple of big innings as far as pitch count goes. 1 in the 1st and 1 in the 4th.
And he can thank Tony Fernández for both of those.
For both of them, yes. He had 35 pitches in the 1st inning, 13 of them to Tony Fernández. Then he had a 29-pitch 4th inning, 11 of them to Tony Fernández. Cruz steps out. Two and 1 now on Jose Cruz.
Usually when you get a ball club that handles sliders and curveballs well, you can go fastball, changeup. And I'm not sure Kevin is comfortable enough with his changeup to, in this kind of ball game, use it as his number 2 pitch, but that's usually how you offset a ball club that's set in middle speed. You go above and below slider speed.
Kevin steps up.
Close to a balk, too.
He wants to talk to Javi Lopez again. They've had a couple more of these than they normally do, too, today.
I'll tell you, and I'll bet you what is of concern to him, you got to wonder if you're getting your pitches, and one of the reasons you would be concerned is they're right on every breaking ball you throw. And I think if a club is right on every breaking ball, your natural reaction is, hey, they've got to know it's coming. But there are some clubs that just like breaking ball pitches.
He's had runners down at second all day long. Lead-off double in the first, lead-off double in the fourth. So he's had a runner down there. If they are picking up signs, there's been plenty of opportunity to do just that. And another runner down at second now. Here's the 2-1.
But that's something you usually find from a more veteran ball club. You don't find too many young guys, because young guys really don't trust other young guys to give them signs from second.
A lot of young guys don't want to know what's coming.
That's exactly right. I never understood that, but
location, I would think, would be a better hint than the pitch, perhaps. And that could be easily tipped off from down at second base. Here's the 3-1 on the way, and he lost him low and inside, ball 4.
And I think with Javi Lopez, too, Pete, he's going to have to move early until he's 100% sure that that right knee is strong. He's not going to be able to stay behind the plate and then slide. He's going to have to go ahead, move, plant, and settle in.
Fourth walk issued by Millwood. They're at first and second now with one gone for Sean Green, who has struck out and doubled. Millwood matching his season high with the 4 walks. He had 4 against the Dodgers back on April 20th.
The alive first pitch to Green.
0-1. He has struck out and doubled. The double in the 4th inning, giving Sean Green a 16-game hitting streak.
This ball club, the way they're hitting today, they're defying you to get them out with fastball.
Don't you find that hitting coaches' philosophies, the way they played, often will dictate the way they apply their skills as a hitting coach? And that's the way Gary Matthews used to play the game.
Sarge would fight off the fastball. He'd hit some rockets. Now look at the swing. There's a high fastball. Sarge would fight off some fastballs, but he'd hit some rockets over second. He was constant motion at the plate. So you're probably right. And there's another common denominator with all these hitters. Every one of them with a slightly open stance with the back foot a little bit closer to the plate.
The 0-2 almost hit him inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And I think you've got to stay up there, you've got to stay in, and you've got to trust the fact that they're not doing anything with the fastball. And I really would like to see Kevin Millwood see what one of the hitters would do with a changeup.
First and second, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Good block by Lopez. Runner's going to try to go. The throw, and they might get him. They do. Chipper Jones had to field a 1-hop throw from Javi Lopez. And then Shannon Stewart's slide came up a little short. So then Chipper had to reach back, but he did and got him. And there are 2 gone.
There's a battle for Javi Lopez. He's going for the strikeout with the curveball down and in. It bounces away from him. And by the time he finds it, unloads, the throw beat Stewart, so he's out. The tag may have been up a little bit high, but the throw got there ahead of him, and his slide was a little bit awkward. He looked out, and he is out.
On the play, Jose Cruz goes down to second. So on the bases, the Blue Jays have made 3 outs today. A couple of pickoffs. Bush and Stewart back in the 3rd. Now Stewart caught trying to move up on a ball in the dirt in the 5th inning. That's an inning's worth of outs made by base runners in the 2-2 pitch. Drill down the right field line. It's going to be another extra base hit for Sean Green. Jose Cruz will score. Throw coming to second is going to be a little off the mark. And it's now 3-0. Sean Green driving in his 73rd run of the day, or the season rather, with his 2nd double of the day and 27th double of the year.
6th double of the day. All 6 hits have been doubles. 5th one off of a breaking ball. You don't fool this ball club with a breaking ball. He is right on it and hammers it down the right field line.
So they play at 3rd, saved 1 run. It's now up to a 3-0 lead. And the batter will be Carlos Delgado. He doubled in a run his last time up. He's also struck out.
Green's 2nd double. He's tied for the league lead now.
He's a good hitter.
Yes, he is.
One ball, no strikes. runs on 6 hits for the Blue Jays. One ball, one strike. A first inning double by Shannon Stewart. 3 doubles by Green, Delgado, and Fernández in the 4th, and 2 doubles by Stewart and Green here in the 5th inning. Braves have managed only 3 hits off of Joey Hamilton. Just inside 2-1.
So you keep trying to convince yourself if you're on the mound that sooner or later they're going to have to start looking for fastballs. And I'm not so sure this ball club is going to do that. Because they're figuring, the flip side of that is they're figuring sooner or later he's going to throw me a breaking ball.
Grounded foul off to the right, 2-2.
Now see, that's a hitter's fastball. If you're a left-handed hitter, a low middle end, not a real good swing on it. He wants it out away. He misses by 1.5 feet and right over the top of it. More of an awkward swing than you've seen on any of the breaking pitches. Now here's a pitch of decision for Kevin Millwood. You know, you're tempted to go for the strikeout. The strikeout came on the curveball last time, but they've been hitting every one.
Fouled away. Still 2-2. A little bit different approach taken today by the Braves because of the odd travel schedule this weekend. They very rarely, if ever, have a series open on a Sunday, but after the All-Star break and a day game in New York yesterday, the Braves traveled, and because of some travel difficulties, a little bit of delay getting here, it was quite late last night when the club got in. Drilled foul by Delgado, so they skipped their usual team meeting, which they have the first game of a series against a new club today. And the only meeting that was held was with the pitcher and the catcher and the bullpen guys to go over the hitters. Players defensively were supposed to take a look at the charts on all the guys to figure out where they're going to play them and keep an eye on the dugout, see if Pat Corrales wants to move them.
It's a good pitch.
So what 3-2.
So what they are operating off of today is not the book, but the clip notes. So
yeah, it's not one of those overall team meetings where hitters are gone over in depth by the manager or the coaches and approaches on how you want to pitch them and defend them.
Resist the temptation to throw the breaking balls. Go up with the fastball.
Fouled away. Still 3-2 on Delgado.
When he struck him out in the first inning, it was right across. It was almost like he was crossing the T's on Toronto with his fastball.
Another high-pitch inning for Millwood. 24 pitches this inning. Here's the 3-2. There's the breaking ball. He's going to get away with it this time. Jones and Jordan. It'll be Jones for the catch, and that's out number 3. Could have been a lot worse. Another man out on the bases for the Blue Jays. They've upped their lead now 3-0 after 5.
The Tri-Oval at Pocono. Part road course, part super speedway. This is a track that puts
3 toll-free, and it will be delivered discreetly to your home. Get results using the safe, all-natural alternative, NRX.
Three to nothing, heading to the 6th inning. Time for our Budweiser game summary. It has been a game of doubles for the Toronto Blue Jays. A half a dozen hits, all of them doubles. The Braves have been held to 3 hits and a bunch of ground ball outs by Joey Hamilton, probably his best outing of the year. And the Braves trail it 3-0 as they come to bat in the 6th. That's our Budweiser game summary.
And we'll see if Keith Lockhart can get something going for the Braves here in the 6th inning. He's 0 for 2, a couple of flyouts, one to left, one to center. Takes a strike, 0-1. I'll tell you something I saw happen this morning that I've never seen before. Down the left field line, good piece of hitting by Keith Lockhart. He's going to have extra bases on this one as it rattles around the left field corner. Stewart gets it back, and it's a leadoff double for Keith Lockhart. Only the 4th hit off Joey Hamilton. But because of the late arrival last night, Don, as you know, they moved the bus back to a late bus today. Well, some of the players didn't get the word, apparently, and there were about 7 or 8 guys who were downstairs at the normal time looking for the bus to leave. Bus driver was there already. He said, I'll take you over. So he made 2 trips. He took the early birds over and then came back and picked up the regulars.
Well, it's an 8-block trip here. That's one of the reasons he was probably a little more congenial about it. But it's hard to find a better city to come into than Toronto. Of the cities that we travel to play, nor hard to find a friendlier city or a better treatment that we get at the ballpark.
Brett Boone 0 for 2. He's grounded out to third and into a 6-4 force play. 2 out of 15 now in this road trip. A lot of fly ball outs at Yankee Stadium. 2 ground ball outs today. 2-0.
And right now, middle of the ball game, the Braves with 12 outs to play with. What Brett Boone needs to ensure here is that if he makes an out, he at least gets Lockhart to third. You'd like to pick up 1. 3 is not a big lead.
Right back up the middle. Nice backhanded play. Homer Bush over to first in time. That did get the runner to third. Almost got him in. Except for the nice play by Bush. 1 gone.
They have revamped the middle of their infield since last year. Bush was with the Yankees, Batista with the Arizona Diamondbacks when the spring trainings, or when the end of the last season. But some good range shown by that former Yankee farmhand. He took a base hit away from Boone, cost him an RBI.
Now Chipper Jones is flied to right, grounded out to second. Hamilton's going back to the windup with a runner at third. 1 ball, no strikes.
That runner at third is not that big a deal to him. He'll trade an out for it, which is the way you should pitch with a lead.
Outside corner, evens the count.
It's also knowing your base runner. What are the chances Lockhart's going to try to steal home, and what are the chances that he's going to come jockeying down the line and try to scare you? All you do is give him a peek, make your pitches.
2-1. Evens at 2-2. Chipper in his career now against Blue Jay pitching, 2 out of 25. One of those 2 hits a home run off Roger Clemens a couple of years ago. Full count.
I think the Braves are going to demand to see the original of the stat sheet for Joey Hamilton, not a copy, because they wonder who the guy was that has an 850 earned run average.
Out for the first portion of the season because of a shoulder problem, and has really struggled. But if they get him back in pitching like he can, they're going to have a pretty good rotation. And there's a walk to Chipper. Third walk issued by Hamilton.
That's a pitch he probably wouldn't have made if he were still with San Diego. That's an American League style pitch, 3-2. It's almost automatic slider.
The batter will be Brian Jordan, who has flied to right and singled. Pitching coach Mel Queen.
He's wondering about that pitch, too.
Little tap toward third. Charging it is Otunez. He'll make the sure play over to first in time. The run scores. Lockhart trots home. And the Braves are on the board. Down to second, Chipper Jones. It's 3-1. And give Jordan his 77th RBI. So the Braves get one of them back here in the 6th. 2 men out now for Ryan Klesko.
A ball club that worries about run production would probably try to get it all back with one swing, but when you know you're going to score runs, you take the run that you get, and you hope you make your 9 other outs useful. 10 now.
Ryan has walked and singled in this game 5 out of 11 now on this trip. And up to 310 for the year. The count to Klesko. Big cut there. 1-1.
I want you to watch this swing, but I want you to watch something else. Watch Fletcher. Here's a catcher afraid this ball's going to hit. Watch him try to reach out and jerk it in front of the plate. Let me get to that before he can connect on it.
Here's the 1-1. Missed inside 2-1. He has been red hot. Now 13 hits in his last 32 at bats. Close to 400.
Jumped that long ball total up too.
Yes, he has. Out of play to the left. 2-2. Two-man out runner at second. 1 run in here for Atlanta in the top half of the 6th inning. Starting to cloud up here in Toronto, but don't worry about it. If it starts to rain, they'll just close the roof and keep on playing. Now 2-2 pitch due to Quesco. High in the air, deep left center field. Cruz and Stewart converging out there. It'll be the center fielder Cruz for the catch. And that's all for Atlanta in the 6th inning. Well, the Braves pick up 1. Brian Jordan drives it in. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning with the Blue Jays up by 2.
Tough duty here. That's the scene just outside of our hotel here. Here's a look at the 6 doubles that the Blue Jays have gotten. Stewart's, the first one was on a slider that stayed inside, and he jerked it inside. Then the next 3 came on breaking balls, except this one. I'm sorry, Fernández won a battle on about the 13th pitch. Another breaking ball, and then the last one by Green, a breaking ball. So 5 out of 6 have come off breaking balls thrown by Kevin Millwood. Definitely a breaking ball hitting ball club, more a slider speed hitting club.
Now Tony Fernández, who has had 2 long at-bats against Kevin Millwood. Millwood won the first one in the first inning, striking him out. Fernández an RBI double his next time up. And he's down to the count 0-1.
His swing is different till he gets to strike 2. It's much more aggressive. Once he gets to strike 2, he's almost like a kid playing Pepper.
Saw 13 pitches his first at bat. 11 his next time up. There's a strike in the outside corner. It's 0-2. Fernández did not like that call.
A changeup. One of the best thrown today, and one of only 2 or 3 I've seen from Kevin Millwood.
Activity in the Atlanta bullpen now. Left-hander Mike Remlinger has begun to loosen up. In the shallow left field, Quesco's going to have to play it on a hop. It's another hit for Fernández. He's 2 for 3 again. But what a year he's having.
See, with 2 strikes, he just tries to put the ball in play. This is a fastball up. It breaks his bat. They want it in. They want it up. He got it way up. But that's just a let me put you in play swing. Didn't try anything very hard. That's a Rod Carew type swing.
7th hit of the game off Millwood, and the batter will be Darren Fletcher, who was struck out and grounded out to first. Takes a ball, 1-0. Into right center. That's going to fall in. Fernández will take the turn. Now try for third. Here comes the throw by Jordan, cut off by Weiss. That's a good piece of base running by Tony Fernández. He kind of deked everybody. Looked like he was going to stop at second base, and then he took off.
One of a number of things a veteran ball player does well. Sees right here, okay, I'll cruise. Now I'm going to go. And once he decided, Terry Bevington says it's a good play and put him at the corner. Now, isn't it amazing? They've been hitting rockets all day, and Millwood has held them to 3 runs and done some great damage control. And here's a big threat where there are 2 broken bats involved.
And the batter, Tony Batista, with runners first and third, he has struck out, fly to center. 8 hits now for Toronto. Bouncing ball third. Chipper Jones coming home. They've got Fernández hung up. Javi Lopez going to run him back. Gives to Chipper. Braves executed that well. The runners are at first and second. No other advance, I should say, by that runner at second base. That's what you try to do in that rundown play.
That was executed as well as you can do it. He's going on contact because he doesn't want the Braves to try for 2. That's all right. The Braves want to get that lead man. Javi Lopez showing the ball, run him, getting committed, and let the guy at third make the tag with him coming toward you.
That runner tries to stay in that rundown long enough to maybe give the runner at second a chance to get over to third.
That's why you make the run back to third.
Right.
You're going to get somebody there if you make the runner go back to third.
If you do it real well, sometimes you get 2 outs.
Yes, you can. Bob Boone, Doug DeCenza used to do that better than anybody. It was an automatic double play.
Otunez down in the count 0-1. He has
Boone would
left and struck out.
Boone would take that and he would run, but kind of slowly, just hesitantly. Then if that runner from second was coming down, just before he got there, he'd throw to third, the tag on that runner, and then the throw would be back to the guy at home. So they've got so many double plays doing that. But Javi Lopez executed perfectly.
Foul away. Hit a long way, but foul. It's 0-2.
Millwood needs a strikeout or a hard grounder at an infielder.
That's back out of play. It's still 0-2. When you look at what could have possibly happened in this game for Toronto against Kevin Millwood, you talk about damage control. He had those 2 walks in the third inning, picked them both off. Then he had 3 straight doubles in the fourth inning, the 2-run score, but that was all. He got out of that with no further damage. Gave up 2 doubles and a walk in the 5th inning, but only 1 run because of some adventuresome base running by the Blue Jays. And he's got a chance now to get out of this inning. Andrew Jones makes the catch on that one. He had runners first and third, nobody out. Now he's got him at first and second, 2 out. So he has really limited the damage that could have been done against him with all the base runners, and particularly the type of base runners and when they got out in the inning. They were for the most part, on very early in the inning.
Getting Stewart at third in the 5th, a big out, and striking out in the side in the 1st. They could have put the Braves out of this one in the 1st inning.
This could have been a blowout type game, and it's not at all. The Braves still very much in this.
And I think that's one of the things that sets Kevin Millwood apart from most young pitchers. He's learned when his second-best pitch isn't his second-best pitch and to kind of work it in. And the second is that a lot of young pitchers have 5- and 6-run innings. You're hard-pressed to find an inning for Kevin Millwood when he gets beat up for 5 runs in an inning.
Key man here for him, Homer Bush.
And his pitch count is getting into the stratosphere now, so and he's tired. He's starting to labor. More than pitch count, you watch his body language and how his delivery follows up. He's not going to finish up with all his momentum going toward the first baseline as he does when he's 100%.
Bush, a walk back in the 3rd, a fly to right in the 5th. That's out of play in the count 0-2.
See, this is where if you're a guy like Kevin Millwood, a hot day, you've thrown a lot of pitches, this is where you've got to throw every pitch now like it's the last one. Because you're probably not going to go back out there. You know what's going on right there. Now you need to get a big out here, and if it costs you the rest of the ball game, so be it. You're probably out anyway.
There are your runners, Batista and Fletcher.
Pick a pitch you know you can locate. Good one.
Almost got him to chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bobby went over to Kevin Millwood when he came into the dugout in the 5th inning, at the end of the bottom half of the 5th inning, see how he was feeling.
Well, you need arm guards and a forklift to get him out of a ball game.
He will never ask out, will he?
No, he will not. He'll argue with you if you ask him to come out, too.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
He knows what he wants to throw, and he's sticking with it. This is a big out. This is a big hitter.
Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball on the ground at third. Chipper's got it. Throws across to first in time, and Kevin Millwood had runners at first and third, nobody out, and gets out of the inning without a run scoring. The Blue Jays lead 2. It's still 3-1.
Baseball on the Superstation, brought to you by Holiday Inn Express, who invites you to enjoy great values like a free breakfast bar and free local calls. Stay with us and stay smart. And by Tylenol. Take comfort in our strength.
Yes, we are moving to the 7th inning.
Get a win and go hop on a boat, cruise around.
A lot of activity in the city of Toronto today with all the weekend folks headed for the water, and also that big Indy 500 race, the Indy car race.
I understand Skip has arranged for Glenn Diamond to take us all to dinner tonight, too, which
I've heard rumors of that. That's very nice.
Pleased with that.
Andrew Jones takes a strike, count 0-1.
I gave him a list of acceptable options from the 4 of us.
Andrew has walked and lined into a double play, down in the count 0-2. Javi Lopez will follow, then Randall Simon against Joey Hamilton, who's pitching the best game of the season for him. He had really struggled.
I could only remember one pitch that I'd have to consider a mistake. He has stayed right around the kneecaps, and the longer he's gone, the more comfortable he's gotten. He's maintained his velocity, and his movement has gotten better.
Here's the 1-2. It's even 2-2. We were down 1 level for the first 4.5 innings on the radio side, and right alongside the radio booth, the assistant general manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, Dave Stewart, sits. And of course, Joey Hamilton was his pupil. Right. He was the pitching coach out at San Diego. And I don't know if you noticed it or not, Don, but while you were doing the play-by-play, kind of peeked around the corner. He is living and dying on every pitch made by Joey Hamilton because he wants to see him get healthy and win his way back into the rotation. There's Dave.
Yeah, and
look how upset he is over the leadoff walk. This is the leadoff walk with a 3-1 lead in the 7th inning.
Well, he put his heart into being a pitching coach for the San Diego Padres, and he had some very animated conversations. His trips to the mound.
Look at that expression.
When he took some trips to the mound as a pitching coach, he carried some heavy weight. Uh-oh.
Pitch in the dirt to start Javi Lopez brings visitors. Darren Fletcher, Carlos Delgado also out to the mound.
And only because it's such a long walk and the elevator takes a while. It's one of the reasons Dave Stewart may not be in that group.
But I noticed that I could hear some pounding and pumping while you were doing the play-by-play on the radio side, and I peeked around the corner not realizing he was over there, and sure enough, there he was, and it was just as if every pitch was the final pitch in the 9th inning of the 7th game of the World Series. He is trying so hard to see Joey Hamilton get back to where he was when he was so effective for the Padres. 1-0 pitch to Lopez. Good fastball, 1-1.
They say that as a teammate, that's the way he was, too, when he played with you. He wanted everybody to do well. He is.
I know he's wanted to get into the front office of baseball for a long time, and now he's made it there. But it must be a difficult adjustment that first year. That first year out of uniform when you're so used to having a hands-on, being able to run out and say something or talk to a guy when he's back in the dugout. This pictures tell it all. Don't have to say a word.
I don't know. This might be the route.
That's a good pitch. Struck out Lopez. And that is the first strikeout for Joey Hamilton.
Came at a good time for him and came on a good slider. Started it in the strike zone, down and away. That's the one pitch, too, that Javi Lopez has been having trouble committing to and going after aggressively. Anything in that lower outside quadrant of the strike zone. Belt to knees, outer half of the plate.
Randall Simon 1 for 2, a single. His first time up, takes ball 1.
I tell you, part of what Dave Stewart's frustration too. I know he'd like to see more aggressive pitching, but he's had some frustration with the knee-high calls that are not being called strikes. That would qualify him for a lot of dugouts. No, Dave Stewart, I know, wants to be a general manager, but this might be the vehicle. He might be better cut out to be a manager.
That's out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. One man out, runner at first. If you wonder what he's looking at, there's a TV monitor there that he can.
Yeah, he's not appealing to a higher power.
He's looking up at a TV monitor in that booth. It enables him to get a little better look at the strike zone.
How fast to first base? They're talking about time for unloading. 1:05. The stopwatch is how quick does Hamilton unload to the plate.
May notice that Glenn Hubbard, when he coaches first base, unlike some first base coaches, does not carry a stopwatch. But it doesn't mean he's not paying attention to that. He does a count. 1001, 1002, 1003. Every time that pitcher comes to a set position. And he said, I can tell better by that than having to look at a watch every time. So I can keep my eyes on him all the time then instead of having to take my eyes off and look at a watch every now and then. So he is keeping that monitored, but not with a stopwatch. He said, if it gets past 1002, I know we can run on him. 2-1 pitch. It's even 2-2.
Well, you won't find that with Hamilton.
No, he's quick.
He's 1,500.
2-2 now on Randall Simon. Runner goes, fouled away. 2-2.
And I think part of the thinking there was not necessarily that Andrew Jones was going to steal second, but that Randall Simon was going to put it in play.
Randall does not strike out much. 147 at bats this year, only 12 strikeouts.
And throw in some walks in there, that makes it an even better ratio.
Well, they got him this time. How about that? Joey Hamilton went 6 innings in this game without a strikeout. Now he's gotten 2 in a row here in the 7th.
He got that strikeout by going against what he does naturally. After a while, you've got to think down, down, down. Randall Simon commits to a low fastball and gets one up and away from him.
So 2 men gone now. Andrew Jones still at first, and here's Walt Weiss, who's hit into a 4-6 force play and fouled out to left field. He's now 0 for 12 on this trip.
And about 4 out of his last 50.
Really struggling. Average down to 227 now for the year.
I don't know what keys you look for in Joey Hamilton. It's been a struggle year for him, but if they're worried about lack of movement and loss of velocity, he is 100% on both of those with the last pitch.
0-2. Two men out. Andrew Jones at first. 0-2 the count. That didn't miss by much. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This is a point in the ballgame where more and more pitchers are looking into the dugout for somebody to come out. One of the things about Dave Stewart was if you came to the mound in a 3-1 ballgame with him, he would want to know what you wanted. Can I help you?
One and 2. On the ground to short. Batista over to first. That does it for the Braves in the 7th. And the Blue Jays hold on to that 3-1 lead. Going to the bottom half of the 7th inning, and the day is over for Kevin Millwood. Mike Remlinger has replaced him on the mound. Millwood's outing today. Not among his best, but it could have been a lot worse. He really had to battle out of some jams, and that he did. He worked 6 innings. Allowed 8 hits, 3 runs. They were earned. He walked 4 and struck out 6. So the line comes out not too bad for Millwood, and now Remlinger takes over.
By the standards of today, that's a quality start. 6 innings, 3 runs allowed. And what it showed you about Kevin Millwood is his ability to keep you in a ball game when he doesn't have his best stuff, but just on moxie and guts to give you a chance to win it.
Remlinger has put together excellent numbers all season long. And he'll face Shannon Stewart to lead off here in the 7th inning. A couple of doubles and a walk for Stewart. He's on a pace to get about 210 hits this year. And he takes strike 0-1. 118 hits already this season. Derek Jeter came into the day with 130 to lead the league, but Stewart not far behind. On the ground towards second, Boone will play the high hop and throw him out 1 away. Earlier on this trip, we were talking about Remlinger when he came into games as having a possible different role for this club later on. The Braves, as you may or may not know, have a doubleheader because of an earlier loss of a game to the weather. A doubleheader in Philadelphia next Friday, twilight doubleheader. And earlier on this trip, Bobby Cox talking about maybe giving Mike Remlinger a start in one of those games so as not to have to move anybody in the rotation up a day. Well, that may change again because of John Smoltz going 2 more effective innings for Greenville last night on another rehab outing. Smoltz will rejoin the team in Florida when the Braves get to Florida on Wednesday. Throw on the side there, and if he feels okay after the side session, he'll start one of the games in Philadelphia on Friday.
And I think for John now, it's the day after that you're maybe more interested in than you are the day of his work in rehab.
2-0 now on Jose Cruz. Couple of walks and a fly to center. Well hit, base hit, left field. First hit allowed by Remlinger. 9th hit of the day for Toronto, and it'll bring up Sean Green, who has struck out and doubled twice, scored a run, driven in 1. Blue Jays keep coming up with these outstanding young outfielders, and that has been the history of the Toronto Blue Jays. They've been coming up with outstanding outfielders ever since they've had a franchise.
They've also used that Rule 5 draft about as well as anybody in baseball, too.
They continue year in and year out to have their farm system ranked as one of the tops in baseball. I believe it's ranked number 1 right now by 2 different publications, Baseball America and Baseball Weekly. So they've got a lot of talent coming up. Stuart Ash, their general manager. Dave Stewart and the rest of the front office folks. They're in the hunt this year, at least for a wild card berth. They're, 7 out now of first place, only 4 behind the Red Sox, or 3 behind the Red Sox. Could make it 2 today if they hang on and win here. Pedro Martinez, if you haven't heard, got knocked out in the 4th inning today. So they're in that race. One and one on Sean Green. Remlinger on for Millwood.
One of the reasons the Braves would argue against interleague play, but he's had those kind of outings against a lot, those kind of numbers against a lot of ball clubs. He has developed into one of the most feared young hitters in the American League.
just missed. 2-1.
His style of hitting resembles that of Luis Gonzalez, another guy who's had himself a good year this year. You notice he doesn't open up quite as much against a left-handed pitcher as he did against Millwood.
Good fastball by Remlinger, count even 2-2. He wouldn't really call this a breakthrough season for Green because he's really had 4 pretty good years for Toronto. 288, 280, 287, 278. That's about as consistent as you can get. Breakthrough for him in power last year when he hit 35 home runs and drove in 100 for the first time. But a chance to put some really big numbers on the board this year. He's on a course right now to hit 40 home runs, drive in about 110, 120 runs.
Well, he's getting people in front of him having good years, and he's getting protection behind him this year, too, with Delgado with 22 homers and Fernández having a batting crown type year.
He can also steal you a base. He has 16 of those this year, too. Full count, 3-2 on Shawn Green. Crowd of 31,137 at Sky Dome this afternoon. A lot of Braves fans here. We saw a lot of Braves caps and T-shirts and banners. Remlinger ready now for his 3-2 pitch. Instead of the first. Braves fans in the hotel.
Yeah, this hotel's been the site of a number of Brave events.
3-2 on Shawn Green. Cruz is going, and the pitch is inside, ball 4. Well, the Blue Jays threatening again here in the 7th inning. A single and a walk, runners first and second, 1 out for Carlos Delgado. The double in 3 trips. Delgado's double drove in a run in the 4th inning. See how he can handle the left-hander Mike Remlinger. One of those rare breeds as a left-hand hitter. He hits better against lefties, at least this year, than he does against righties. 1 ball, no strikes. Coming into this game today, Delgado 293 against left-handers, 240 against right-handers.
Well, he looks a little like Green, and then he seems to close up a little bit more. Power against righties, but more of a line drive hitter when he's facing lefties. That's not nearly as open as he was against Millwood.
2-0. Remlinger's control not quite as sharp today as it normally is. He got behind on Cruz. He walked Green. Now it's 2-0 on Delgado. There are your runners, Green and Cruz. Got that one by Delgado. It's 2-1.
A lot of swings and misses on fastballs for this ball club.
We're going to get some more bullpen activity for Atlanta. Hudek beginning to get loose. fouled away, 2-2. That seems to be a pitch some of these hitters have trouble with on the Blue Jays, too. Pitch right in on their hands.
Yes.
Left-hand hitters especially.
Well, I think you posed the question earlier about the philosophy of their hitting coach. And apparently the philosophy is fight off the inside pitches, because sooner or later you're going to get something out away from you. You're going to get a breaking ball to handle. How many guys can consistently pitch you on your hands?
Two. Came in there again and missed 3-2. Harry Matthews keeps a chart. Many hitting coaches do that. Once in a while, you'll see a hitting coach or a manager refer to a little book with some matchups on it, but I think Gary's keeping track of a few more things than that.
I bet he's got the matchup book underneath there, but he's making a note on every swing.
3-2. The bat goes out to second base, but it's strike 3 to Delgado. First strikeout for Remlinger, 2 men gone.
Kept pounding him inside till he caught him looking for it and dropped his best curveball of the day. Nice pitch from Mike Remlinger.
And now Tony Fernández, who was a real thorn in the side to Kevin Millwood. 2 out of 3 against him, a single, a double, some long at-bats, kept fouling off pitches. Now he'll bat right-handed against the left-hander Remlinger, with runners first and second, 2 outs.
That's not good news either. He's hitting 10 points higher from this side.
Right at the shortstop, Walt Weiss. That ball sailed a little bit. Weiss had to really keep an eye on it, but he did. And that's the 3rd out of the inning, so 2 more runners stranded by the Blue Jays. Braves are still in it, down by a 3-1 score.
Why do I offer my employees Aflac insurance on top of our regular?
Take a look at our Delta scoreboard. They're slugging it out at Fenway Park, 9-8, heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. Detroit got 6 in the first 2 innings. That's all. Cincinnati's come roaring back to lead that one. Yankees 5 in the 2nd inning. Leday a home run in the upper deck in right field. Jeter got his 16th. Philadelphia and Tampa Bay a pitcher's duel. Schilling is out there. Scott Rowland a pair of homers. White Sox 1-0 over Milwaukee. Minnesota pitching duel with St. Louis. Kansas City and the Cubs 2-1 now heading to the top of the 5th. And Cleveland trails Houston 1-0. Everything else starting to pop up a little bit later on, and right now they're in a playoff, a 3-way playoff at the British Open. Log on to CNNSI.com for all the latest news in sports. CNNSI.com, the ultimate address for sports. Oh, Paul Lowry won the British Open. Hello. Started today 10 back, the largest comeback win in any major in history. Paul Lowry won the playoff at the British Open. Congratulations.
Keith Lockhart leads off here in the 8th. Joey Hamilton's still out there.
Is he the first Scot to win the British Open?
I don't know.
Al? In 68 years, the first Homelander to win it.
Graham Lloyd, Paul Quantrill in the Blue Jay bullpen as the 8th inning begins. And Hamilton down 3-0 in the count to Lockhart. Keith has scored the only Atlanta run. He came home after doubling on a ground out by Brian Jordan. 3-0 pitch. Strike at the inside corner, 3-1. Up the middle, base hit for Lockhart. So Lockhart, for the 2nd time in a row, leads off an inning with a hit. It's 2 out of 4 on the day. And the batter will be Brett Boone, who's 0 for 3.
Decision time for those two right there, Jim Fregosi and Mel Queen. I don't think they want to see Joey Hamilton face the possible go-ahead run, and I'm not sure they're too sure they like him facing the possible tying run. He's done a good job.
Starts out Boone with a strike at the knees.
I think you get a little bit of a dilemma when you have a guy like Joey Hamilton get to this point. you'd like to let him go longer, but you don't want him to have to face a bunch of hitters, and you get jumpy when he gets a base runner on, but then you got to think who's most likely to get a ground ball.
1-2.
As my former third base coach Preston Gomez used to say, it's a vicious circus.
Sometimes a guy with a sinker like his gets a little tired and becomes even more effective.
It moves more. You might lose a little bit velocity-wise, but you get more movement, and his movement is going to induce more ground balls.
Like that one, but it's foul. 1-2 on Brett Boone. Chipper Jones waiting on deck. Still a ball and 2 strikes on Boone.
That's what you get a little bit afraid of when you get tired and you're a sinker slider type pitcher. The one pitch you might not get as much success with is the slider when you go to it. Got away with leaving that one up.
Grounds another breaking ball foul off to the left. Still a ball and 2 strikes on Boone. That's a lot of flyouts for a guy like Joey Hamilton. When he's really at his best, it'll be about a 3-to-1 ratio of groundouts to everything else.
Well, 4 of them were the first came in the first 7 outs.
Yeah. He has still held the Braves to 5 hits. He's walked 4. He has struck out 2. 1 double play grounder back in the second. Strike 3 call to Brett Boone. He is not real happy with that call. 3rd strikeout for Hamilton.
His sinker is definitely his best pitch. A National League strike call by an American League umpire right at the knees in the neighborhood of the outside corner.
Darren Fletcher helped him with that one. Set up out there, held the glove a little bit outside the strike zone, and that's the target that Hamilton hit. Here's Chipper Jones, who's fly to right, grounded to second, and walked.
Caught it in the middle of the glove, didn't try to jerk it toward the strike zone.
We've seen Javi Lopez and Eddie Perez do that a lot for Braves pitchers. 1 ball, no strikes
on that identical pitch.
It is 2-0.
I think this is a key guy for Joey Hamilton.
In the air to left, not too deep. Stewart coming in. He's under it. He's got it 2 away. Lockhart has to backtrack to first. 2 men gone, and Brian Jordan will be the hitter. It's a big inning for Hamilton and the Blue Jays because you're getting some of the big RBI guys out of the way. Still holding on to the lead if he can get through this inning. Jordan, of course, the #1 RBI man on the Braves. He drove in his 77th run of the year back in the 6th inning, the only run the Braves have put on the board today.
Got a guy hitting who reaches out for the ball, so the sinker's going to come back into him. And with Brian Jordan, more apt to get a ground ball left side off the sinker with him.
Two men out, Lockhart at first, the 0-1. Line to right field, that's going to fall in. Lockhart will stop at second. That's good hitting. Second hit of the day for Jordan. First and second, here comes Jim Fregosi. Looks like this will be the end of the day for Joey Hamilton, who will get a nice hand. Ryan Klesko coming up. They want the left-hander, Graham Lloyd. And he'll be making his way in from the Blue Jay bullpen as Hamilton gets the ovation after 7 2/3 innings, allowing 6 hits and only 1 run. Listen to the crowd reception for Joey Hamilton as manager Jim Fregosi makes the Bell South call to the bullpen.
We're gonna...
Best outing of the year for Joey Hamilton. There are the numbers. He is responsible for the runners at first and second. As Graham Lloyd comes in to take his place.
Good job today. A little bit early. He got the outs, but you could tell he just seemed a little bit tentative early. A couple of walks in the second inning, but made a lot of good pitches. You're going to have a matchup coming up now, Pete, of two guys who were traded for each other at one time.
Lloyd, part of the package that came over from the Yankees in the Roger Clemens deal. He's had a good year. 39th game, he's won 5, saved 3, a 293 earned run average, only a 227 batting average against. And with the left-hander Lloyd coming onto the game, Gerald Williams will come on to pinch hit for Ryan Klesko. Not many bright spots yesterday offensively for Atlanta, but this was one of them. Ran along the line and off the foul pole. So it's Lloyd against Williams.
This guy last year who was one of the best at left-handed against left-handed. Did a great job facing very few hitters for the Yankees.
167 earned run average for him last year in 50 games. As good as the Yankees are this year, they kind of missed that out there right now. They could use one more lefty in that bullpen.
I think they missed the heart that David Wells brought to the ball club, and they missed the specialization, the specialist job that Lloyd did.
1 ball, 1 strike on Gerald. As a pinch hitter this year, Williams 4 out of 19. He has a pinch hit home run. Runners are going. The pitch is low and inside. The throw to third is late. Double steal moves Lockhart to third, Jordan to second. Now a base hit could tie the game.
Took advantage of a guy with a good-sized leg kick, a guy who takes one look and takes a little while to unload. That was easy for Lockhart.
His third stolen base, Jordan's 9th. And the count 2-1 now on Gerald Williams. On the ground toward short, Batista charging, fields a high hop, trouble getting it out of his glove, not in time. 1 run scores, but out at home is Brian Jordan. He will argue the call with Tim Sheeta. Here comes Bobby Cox out to argue, trying to score from second on a ground out. Brian Jordan thought he had a hand in. 1 run scores, but the third out is made at home plate. And we'll go to the bottom half of the 8th inning with Toronto on top now, 3-2.
Dad, EJ, $170 million. That's a record. Think it's going to change you?
Absolutely not. E.J. Tucker's never been about money. E.J. Tucker's never played for money, and money will not change E.J. Tucker not 1 iota.
Say, is that a Bud Light?
Oh, yeah, it's last one.
Oh, yeah? Well, what do you say I give you $1 million for it?
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
What do you want for that watch?
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Powerful protection from odor and wetness that glides on clear. Right Guard. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Need a battery? Now at Pep Boys, get a ProStart 75-month battery from $44.99. ProStart name brand quality batteries by Exide from $44.99.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us.
Trouble doesn't wear a watch. That's why State Farm offers its 24-hour Good Neighbor service from participating agents.
Hello, State Farm's Good Neighbor Service. This is Gina. How may I help you? Sure, I can help you with that.
So you can call your agent's office at any time, day or night, to start a claim, ask a question, and get the help you need.
Braves get 1 to final out a controversial close play at the plate. In the past, the Braves have had a lot of plays where that first baseman just took the ball and stuck it in his pocket. Fletcher blocks the plate as though he is expecting Brian Jordan to come in feet first. Look at this angle. It looks like he got the leg down in the tag. From another angle, it looks like the hand got in, but Tim Sheeta nose right in on top of it. His is the only opinion that counts, and Brian Jordan is out. But you got to hand it to Delgado. So often on a bang-bang play at first, the first baseman gets caught up in the action there and forgets there was another base runner. He didn't hesitate.
So it's now a one-run lead. Gerald Williams stays in the game, by the way. He got credit, and somebody just got tossed from the Atlanta dugout. Tim Sheeta just ran somebody. Bobby Cox coming out. I don't know if he's the one that was tossed out or not.
Well, he's going to get his money's worth now, and it has something to do with fertilizer, and he was safe at the plate, that's all. And everybody was yelling in the dugout and on Tim Sheeta during the break between innings, and apparently it had enough, and it looks like it's Bobby that's gone.
The argument was not all that heated at home plate. It got a little more so after Bobby got back to the dugout.
I think it was dialing long distance that got Bobby gone, because the argument came from the dugout, and I think it got a little louder long distance than it did up close.
So Bobby Cox ejected from the game here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Rudy Cianez is on the mound now for Atlanta after a scoreless inning for Bremlinger. By the way, I was going to tell you before that Williams got credit for a base hit and an RBI, getting that run home to make it 3-2. 1 ball, 1 strike on Darren Fletcher, leading off in the bottom of the 8th inning. Sharply hit off the glove of Randall Simon, trickling down into right field. Jordan gets to this one quickly. That'll be a base hit for Fletcher.
This ball is smoked. A high fastball with overspin. I know as a kid you're taught to get in front of ground balls, but not ground balls like that.
Hit number 10 of the day for Toronto. Tony Batista, the hitter, he's 0 for 3. No strikes.
I think the temptation is to pitch Batista out away from him, Pete. I really believe that a guy with Cianez's velocity can pitch him right in on his hands.
You saw Billy Koch beginning to throw in the Blue Jay bullpen. He's their closer. In the dirt, good stop by Lopez.
Good stop and a pretty good indication, and he's feeling good. He was out from behind there quickly.
Yeah, that's been one of the impressive things about the afternoon from Javi Lopez. There was no pain. He was not suffering any pain. Anything he tried to do was pain-free. But there was a fear that Javi Lopez has had in the back of his mind ever since getting off the disabled list that he might re-injure the knee or injure it more seriously. So he's a little bit hesitant to try some things. That's down the left field line, foul. And the count 2-1.
But on that play, he shifted his weight over there, kept the knee flexed, and then exploded forward.
It looks like as this game has gone on, he's gotten more and more comfortable back there, more and more confident that no, nothing's going to happen any worse than it already is, unless I have some kind of a collision with a base runner or something like that.
I think the analogy used over on radio is a good one. He's almost like a pitcher that's had elbow surgery.
And he's afraid to cut loose for a while when he first gets back, yeah.
Therapist says it's 100%. Your head says it's 100%. Doctor says it's 100%. But something inside says, maybe not.
That little Jiminy Cricket guy on your shoulder that's saying, you know, it might only be 80%. And that's the one doubt that you have to get out of your mind.
And it's not a conscious effort. It's subconscious and instinctive.
2-1 on Batista. Fletcher at first, nobody out. Popped him up. Middle of the infield. Brett Boone for the out, one gone. And Ordonez will be the batter. He has fly to left, struck out, fly to center. Due up in the ninth inning for Atlanta. It'll probably be against Billy Koch, their hard-throwing young closer. It'll be Andrew Jones, Javi Lopez, Randall Simon. CNS needs to get through this inning to keep it at a one-run game. 42nd appearance for Rudy. 0-1. If it is Koch in the ninth inning, you're going to see some smoke from that youngster. He has been clocked as high as 101 on the radar gun this year. That just missed. 1-1. Three runs, 10 hits for Toronto. 2 runs, 6 hits for Atlanta. Field and deep. Back goes Williams to the warning track. He's got it. Throwing back toward the infield. Scampering back to first is Fletcher. That almost got out of here. 2 men gone. And Homer Bush will be the batter.
That looked like one of those big swings, good swings, but he may have caught it right near the end of the bat instead of on the fat part. Take a look, see if you can see where it hits the bat. Yep, right out on the end.
Two gone, runner at first for Bush. Oh, 1. Same two clubs tomorrow night. Bruce Chen against Kelvin Escobar. Tom Glavine against Chris Carpenter Tuesday night. Then the Braves travel to Florida. Take on the Marlins for a couple of days. In the air, right center, but that's right where Andrew Jones had him played, and that'll do it for the Blue Jays in the 8th. Well, we're going to the 9th inning. It's a one-run game. Due up for Atlanta, Andrew Jones, Javi Lopez, and Randall Simon, and they will face the hard-throwing Billy Koch.
The Supers. It's quick, easy, and you can get started right now over the phone. Term life insurance from Money. The least you can do.
Call Money and find out how to help make your family feel more secure. If you call now, we'll even send you a calculator and insurance worksheet to estimate the coverage you may need.
Going to the 9th inning, Braves down by 1 run. Andrew Jones, Javi Lopez, Randall Simon due up. We have had a scoring change as you see Billy Koch come on to try to save the game for Toronto, former Clemson University star. In that 8th inning change, they take away the base hit by Gerald Williams. It'll be an error now on Batista, the shortstop, no RBI, so that makes one of the 2 runs given up by Joey Hamilton unearned. There you see the numbers on Koch. Interesting on Koch is that his career was over almost before it started, and now it's back again. He was number 1 draft pick, 4th pick overall by the Blue Jays back in '97. He went down to Dunedin in the Florida State League, pitched in 3 games, blew out his elbow. Had to go and have reconstructive ulnar collateral ligament surgery. Dr. James Andrews in Birmingham did that. He went back out there in '98 with a reconstructed elbow at Dunedin in the Florida State League. Was a starting pitcher, went 14-7, made 1 start at Syracuse, and then made it back to the AAA level to start this year, and up as a Blue Jay now as their closer.
And the fact that he's throwing 101 have a lot of guys wanting to go see Dr. James Andrews. Could you put me a 100-mile-an-hour fastball in my elbow? It doesn't always turn out that way.
He was told by Dr. Andrews, well, first the pitch to Andrew Jones, speaking of Andrews, is low and outside ball 1. He was told by Dr. Andrews that because they were able to get a particularly long segment of ligament out of his forearm to fix the elbow, they were able to wrap it 3 times instead of the usual twice, so that his elbow should be just as strong as ever and allow him to throw just as hard as ever.
He doesn't throw one of those backspin four-seam lively ones. He throws a heavy fastball at 99 miles an hour.
Andrew has walked twice and lined into a double play. Everybody oohing and ahhing because the radar gun speeds are posted. There's a 99 mile an hour.
Doesn't matter if you throw 200 miles an hour.
Throw strikes. That's right. 3-0 the count. Fastball strike.
Took a little off that one.
3-1 on Andrew. And also that surgery done, I was talking with some of the Toronto media folks before the game. There's a strike and it's full now, 3-2. Surgery also changed the persona and the personality a little bit of Billy Counts. He was an extremely cocky young man after being picked #1 in that draft. Just thought he could blow by everybody, get to the big leagues. Now he tells people every day he puts on that uniform and appreciates it one day at a time after almost losing his career in that very first year.
Well, that's a tough lesson in the school of hard knocks and not one you would wish on anybody, but you got to be happy for somebody that comes out of it as successfully.
One gone.
That's 100 miles an hour and sinking.
Javi Lopez, the batter, is hit into a 6-4-3 double play, grounded out to third and struck out. 1 ball, no strikes. That one hit 100. 6'3", 218 pounds. He's out of Clearwater, Florida. A little tap to the third base side of the mound. Koch fields, throws, gets him 2 down. Last hope for Atlanta will be Randall Simon.
Now this will be a good test. Randall Simon comes to the plate with a feeling that he can get wood on anybody's fastball, going against the guy who throws 100 miles an hour.
2 men gone in the 9th. He does hit it, but right back to Koch. Over to first, and the Blue Jays take the first game of this 3-game series by a final score of 3-2.
And they win this one thanks to a great performance. Best of the year for that guy right there without the hat. That's Joey Hamilton, 7 2/3, 6 hits, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. His first win in a month, and one of the best of the last couple of years from Joey Hamilton. He's our AutoZone player of the game. Blue Jays win at 3-2. We'll be back with the totals right after this.